So are you ready to hear my psychic reading?
Yeah, I've heard bits and pieces of it, but I can't wait to hear it all.
All right, here we go. If you've tuned in to see if you can argue with your spouse and still be madly in love, you're in the right spot.
I'm Kent.
And I'm Annie.
And we're the
Kilkos.
Sound like a game show.
We're your host of Life's Little Arguments. We're not trained experts in love and marriage. Actually, we might be quite dysfunctional, but we have been happily married for 16 years.
Debatable.
Not only will we share all the ups and downs of marriage, but the ins and outs of raising his and her kids, growing through new jobs and opportunities, and our latest obsession, our empty nest babies, our dogs, Blakely and Lincoln.
So if you hear ding, ding, ding across the microphone, they're probably walking across the floor.
Listen in each week while we discuss our life, current events, random TikToks, and the little arguments that undoubtedly come up. Whether you're in a long-term relationship yourself or in a fresh new relationship, we hope you find our podcast fun, entertaining, and helps you realize there is a normal in life's little arguments.
We tracked into
All right.
the audience tonight.
Trying to.
Oh yeah.
You never, gotta get views the way you can get views.
I mean, that's true. Your eyes always look so blue when you wear blue. It amazes me, like, how much of a difference you wearing blue makes in your eyes.
Yeah.
Is it just a reflect? I mean, I guess it's just reflection, but I don't know. It's like if I were looking at just your eyes, I bet I could tell you what color your shirt is 8 out of 10 times.
Huh.
Well, I bet I could tell you if it's blue 8 out of 10 times. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if I showed you a picture of just my head without the blue shirt, would it be the same though?
Because of the reflection won't be there.
Right.
You mean? I don't know. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Can we talk about how cool the mohawk is on Lincoln?
It's pretty cute.
Should he still have the name Lincoln, or should he be like Spike for a period of time?
No,
because wasn't Spike the gremlin that had the mohawk? We were trying to figure that out.
I think it was Spike. Yeah.
I'm 99% sure it was Spike. So anyhow, Rachel, shout out, Posh Paws. She did a good job. I'd sent her a message. I said, hey, just hear me out. I said, I'm thinking about getting a mohawk done on Lincoln. What do you think? And she said, yeah, I love doing them. I do it on some other doodles, yada, yada, yada. So we decided whether or not we're going to go all the way down his back or just go his head. I said, I'll leave it up to you. So she did just the head this time. So I think next time we're going to take it down a little bit more and then maybe eventually all the way down his back. We'll see. I love it. I think he looks like a stud. Even more than he already looked like a stud.
I don't know. We're going to have to see after it is grown out what it looks like.
Well, that's true because his hair does tend to get pretty curly. So we'll see what happens with it. But anyhow, as of right now, it looks good.
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
Yeah.
So we ready to get into my psychic reading? So let me just tell you what happened. So Courtney and Amy my cousins, sent me you and I are literally at the mall. We were shopping for shoes. My birthday was coming within a couple of months of my birthday coming up, I guess. And I had said something to you along the lines of, babe, like, we've got to go on a trip. Like, I have to, it's my 50th. I'm turning 50. Like, we have to take a trip. And I am not kidding when I say that statement just came out of my mouth. I get a ding. I get a text message. And this text message is a flyer that says, like, check yes or no. And it's basically saying that they are going to pick me up. They're going to take me on a trip for my birthday.
Have the itinerary ready for you.
Yes. All I got to do is pack my bag and be ready to go. We're going to go to Savannah. That's all I knew. I knew nothing of what was actually going on. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going. Of course. I'm selecting yes on this, which totally freaking cool.
Pressure off of me. I was putting so much pressure on myself for this particular birthday. It was driving me crazy. And
really?
I didn't like it. Because I felt like no matter what I did, it was going to be a disappointment. And so when that came to fruition, I was like,
yeah,
we'll plan another trip next year. We'll do something where it's not necessarily tied to a birthday. And I think that we'll have a great time with it. So.
Yeah. So that was super cool. So that was was going to happen mid-November. And so they picked me up, went to Savannah. We had a really cool Airbnb. First of all, you had to go up these ginormous, like, steps. So she's like, just know, like your bag, you're gonna be carrying these up some steps. And I was like, like a few steps, or are we talking like a lot of steps?
So before you go further, I think you're downplaying the ding that came through, like literally as those words came out of your mouth.
Well, no.
So what do you think that means? Like how did you take that?
Oh, it's a sign. It's 100% like, I am manifesting this. Like, I asked for it, and immediately the universe is like, oh, okay, this is what you want? Yeah, here you go.
So maybe I suck at manifesting, because I'd be like, I want to have sex tonight, and then I don't get a ding. Most of the time it does, so I'm just like, what am I doing wrong with my manifestation? I need you to teach me the ways.
I can't.
God,
it's different for
everyone. You're afraid to because you're afraid that if I start manifesting sex, that means it's going to have to come from you more often.
Clearly, it's going to come from me. Where else is it going to come from?
And that means it's going to be more often, which is going to put more pressure on you. So you're what we call in real estate, you're gatekeeping, and I don't like that. I'm not a gatekeeper.
Well, first of all, it comes from me being constantly in this all the time. I am not someone I'm not the one that's on TikTok keeping up with all the trends, even though I do TikToks and I will see things and I will make TikToks or whatever, but I'm not the one scrolling on TikTok for hours.
I love your passion, though, when you try to tell me, oh, did you see so-and-so posted? And I'm like, bitch, I saw that like a week. I'm like, you're telling me stuff that's been out for like a week now. And anyway, it's just funny how passionate you get about it.
Well, my whole point is
I spend too much time on social media.
That's not really the point, but yes,
that's 100% the point.
If you want to manifest these particular things and be connected like that, then you got to do something different. So anyway, so that was super cool. So our Airbnb was really cool. It had the way it was decorated, because you got SCAD down there, and so you could tell this person probably was like maybe a student there at one point. Like it was very architectural, it was very modern, mixed with some really cool pieces and some artwork that of buildings and places down there. So it was really cool. And it had on the roof, it had a little area that is like a little patio, had an outdoor shower, had one of those little blow up hot tubs. They had, some plants and some chairs and stuff out there. And then like detached from that part up on the roof was another little bedroom, its own little A-frame bedroom. And Courtney slept out there, and I was like, the one night that wind was, it felt like
you said it was freezing.
Yeah, well, it was freezing. And I felt like it was like 25, 30 mile per hour winds. And I'm like, is her little A-frame hut going to like blow away? Because it's not really attached to the house, actually. Anyway, it was such a cool vibe. And it was so special. Oh, there was a hammock. There was an indoor hammock. That was the highlight for me.
I thought you said we were going to get one.
And we've not. So what's the problem?
I don't know where to put it.
Here? Here somewhere?
We keep debating what we're going to do with the bonus room, the keeping room, the dining room. We keep going back and forth. So I don't want to commit to an indoor hammock until I feel pretty certain the direction we're going to go with those rooms.
The direction I want to go is sell them all. But
I sell the house.
Right. We're at an impasse on that. So there was an indoor hammock, which was just so freaking cool. And it was like a macrame hammock. It wasn't like a normal, just like solid hammock.
I know what macrame is.
Yes, you do.
Because we did macrame.
Yes, we did.
Are they hanging up?
No, they're not.
Do we get plants to go in the macrame?
Yes, we did.
Who takes care of said plants?
Fred and Ethel. You take
Who takes care of Fred and Ethel?
You take care of Fred and Ethel.
Did I want to do this at all in any capacity?
I feel like you did.
Once I got there, perhaps.
Yes.
But once again, I'm stuck taking care of it.
I don't say you're
Did you see a trend here?
No, I don't. Okay. What's the trend?
The trend is I'm the one who takes care of everything.
Okay, first of all, you take care of plants. I don't do plants.
And fish, and hummingbirds.
Okay, fish were not
dogs,
my idea. I don't do hummingbirds. That's your problem. Like dogs, sir.
First of all,
no,
my
sir.
Hummingbirds are not a problem.
Well, they're not my problem.
That's my choice, is what you meant
exactly.
to say.
Your choice. Exactly. Okay. You walked right
Fred
into
Ethel,
where I wanted to go with that.
Them, yes.
Anyway, and they're doing great. So where was I? Macrame. Yeah. Macrame hammock. It was amazing. And so anyway, we were doing all the Savannah things. And, I'm into all of this. I mean, I have been working on this entire year. Like, I feel like I have been trying so hard to connect to like my spirit guides and my higher self and just all of these things and kind of expecting like actual voices to come back speaking to me, which I have had that happen before.
Yep.
So it's not like it's not possible, but for whatever reason, that's not happening. But so I finally have kind of let go of that idea. But anyway, this psychic reading. So I'm like, oh, we walked past whatever.
Can I ask a question about this?
Sure.
I know the one or two instances you're talking about, you literally heard a voice say blah, blah, blah. And I can remember.
And was it an auditory voice that somebody else could have heard? I don't know. Maybe
I
it was just
doubt
in my head.
anybody else could hear it. I'm certain no one else could hear it. But you could hear it, and that's all that really matters. Yes. But I guess my question is, I think sometimes you're looking specifically for that. And so with that being said, do you feel like because you're so intent on hearing that voice again, that you're maybe looking past other messages or clues?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've tried to kind of release that. But anyway, I don't want to say before I did that before. Anyway, psychic reading. I'm like, okay, let's just do a psychic reading. I think we're in Savannah. There's a lot of history there. It's very, I feel like it has kind of an energy about it. I'm like, let's just
YOLO.
Let's do that. Let's do it. And I'm like, Courtney and Amy probably aren't going to want to do this, but I want to do it. I think it would be cool. So yeah, go in. And you got to ring this doorbell for them to even answer. And they answer. And like people were like, it was like they were packed. Like
that was
back to back to back. And so we have our reading, and I go first. And so I have to refer to my notes because I literally couldn't completely.
She brought notes, folks.
It's almost like a blackout.
Sit back and be ready for this one.
I almost kind of black out because I feel like after it happens and I've like and I talk about it a little bit, then I've totally can't really go back to it and completely forgotten what it was that happened. But anyway, so she starts off. Let me find my notes. I wrote like 4 pages of notes after this happened.
You didn't tag these notes before this podcast.
Well, I did, but
okay.
Okay, so when I first go in there, and it's a tarot reading, but it's a psychic reading, tarot reading, and so she has tarot cards, but she's doing it a little differently. So it's not like a normal like 3-card spread, which is there are a lot of different tarot card spreads. And I have to also say I have been working with tarot cards, so I have tarot cards and I've been working with them. I will be either faced with a situation and I'll like pull cards, and all the tarot cards come with a book, and so it's not like you're trying to be necessarily just pull something out of your head, but you can look at the book and kind of give you a guide, and then kind of say, okay, does this really apply to what I was asking or what I'm feeling or something like that. And a lot of people are going to be naysayers. They're going to say it's complete bullshit and whatever. Cool, I don't care. It's what I have been working with, and it works. And so I had pulled some tarot cards before the trip. I wanted to pull a set of 3 cards just to kind of see kind of what vibe we are.
The tone.
The tone of the trip or whatever. And so the 3 cards that I pulled, they just kind of didn't make sense to me at the moment. It was about success, difficult choices, basically like beginnings and endings. And at that time I was like, this isn't not really vibing for me, but I made note of it because I'm like, okay, maybe it's not for me. Maybe it's for Amy, or maybe it's for Courtney, because we have had that situation before where when I went up to Ohio, and we didn't talk about this. I don't know. Anyway, pulled cards that didn't resonate for me, but later on in the day ended up resonating, for Amy.
Yeah, I remember
so
hearing that, yeah.
I'm like, okay, let me just set this to the side. And so we have the psychic reading. So I go in and she's like, okay, she said, you seem a little nervous. She said, here, go ahead and I want you to shuffle the cards. And she's like, I'm going to go out for a second and give you a minute, that's not abnormal. And I am shuffling the cards because tarot is all about your energy, and like your energy is into the cards. And so I'm like, okay, cool, I get this. And I'm shuffling the cards or whatever. And I'm kind of saying some things to myself, maybe about what I'm looking to get out of this. I'm not even sure that I'm doing that, but it's really like under my breath. It's not like out loud where they could have cameras in here and like see me or hear me or whatever. And so I'm kind of just mumbling and like, just taking deep breaths and kind of getting centered and holding the cards. And she comes back in, and when she comes back in, she immediately says, "You have an energy in here with you today." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" And she's like, "There's an energy that came in with you, but she's no longer here." She said that she didn't want to make you upset. So immediately I'm like, okay, cool. Like, she's talking about mom. Like, obviously that's who it is. And which, again, I want to preface this and say, I understand how you can put meaning into any of the things that she's saying. And she could take anything that I'm saying back to her, or anything that she's saying could probably apply to everyone. I understand that. And that is fine. Because again,
same thing happens when the pastor's talking to the congregation at church.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's the same thing. And so, immediately I'm like, okay, this is mom. And I'm like, well, that tracks. Like, this would not be her vibe. She probably,
I'm getting out of here before it gets too creepy.
Right. I'm out of here. And I forget if she goes on, but eventually I'm like, I said, it's my mom, that's who that is. And so she starts telling me some different things. She starts doing the tarot reading, and that's just, she's putting cards down like in a particular thing. And she goes through the whole deck of like her tarot cards, which is not an entire like tarot deck, which I think is like, I feel like 96 cards or something like that. So anyway, she's telling me that, my mom wants me to know that, she couldn't stay, that she actually had stayed longer than she should have, but that she knew that I was there, and she just doesn't want me to be mad at her, that she couldn't do it anymore. And I was like, oh God, at first I'm like, honestly, like, I didn't get upset during that time. I thought that I would. Like, talking about it now, I feel a little bit more emotional now.
I can hear it in your voice.
Than I did, then. But I was like, yeah, no, I'm not emotional. I'm not mad at her. She had to do what she had to do. That was her decision. That was, because by the end, I'm like begging her. I'm like, okay, mom, like, just let go. Like, you're not here. Like, go ahead and let go. It's fine.
Well, hold on. Do you think that she's saying your mom's said she don't want you to get mad, as in like she stopped battling when she was here, or that she left because she doesn't necessarily believe in some of the stuff that you may be talking about?
Well, so I think when she originally said you had an energy with you that came in, but she left because she didn't want you to get emotional, I think she was saying like she didn't want to be there, so she wasn't being picked up on the reading, so I didn't get emotional in the reading. Okay. But then as we go through the tarot thing, she's telling me that that she is she just couldn't fight any longer. Okay. And so, she doesn't want me to get emotional also, that she's telling me that, she's sorry. She just couldn't do it. She couldn't fight any longer. She stayed longer than she should have. Had she continued, it would have been a situation where, there were machines involved, and, I assume like, basically hooked up to ventilators and stuff like that. And of course I'm like, yeah, no, I've never been upset with her. Like, that was her decision. That's not my decision to make for her. That's all completely fine. And what else does she say? She said, but she kept coming back saying, your mama's saying this and your mama's saying that. And at one point I was like, well, wait a second. I thought she left. I thought she didn't want to be in here. So she came back, and I think I kind of caught the woman a little bit off guard. And, but she's like, yeah, she's here. And basically all the messages that she was saying, a lot of what she was saying was coming from my mom. Now, of course, that adds a second layer of kind of emotional piece to it. But I'm like, but she was telling me that, she said, why have you been so emotional lately? Why have you been so snappy? And I was like, I don't think I've been snappy. So this was like mid-November.
Okay. I was just about to ask that. And
I mean, honestly, that's accurate. That's very accurate, because let's see, if I'm looking at my notes.
I think there's
when did we come back from Texas?
I don't know, but there's an 80% chance that
like
she could say that to you at any point. It would be accurate.
That's probably accurate. So anyway, we had had some. There have been an ongoing issue with the whole kitchen redo, which we will talk about.
Oh yeah, I was like, what is the Texas trip? Okay,
the kitchen redo.
You know what we need to do, Tyler? Shout out. He needs to give us a chance to be on his show. How crazy would that be?
Tyler, the psychic?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because I really do believe him. Unless he's just an incredible actor, I really and truly believe he talks to spirits.
Absolutely. I 100% believe it too.
Yeah.
And she was saying that, asked me why I was being so emotional, so snappy, that it wasn't like me. And then talking about that I have been dealing with a decision that I've been trying to make, a difficult decision. And I was like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yes, there is something that I'm thinking about doing, and I have been going back and forth on it at that particular point in time. I had already committed to it, but I still in my mind was thinking, like, is this really for me? Is this going to be, like, should I be doing this? Whatever. Or am I doing it for other reasons, basically? And so I was like, okay. And so she said that, Mom was saying that I just needed to slow down and be patient. That everything that I want is coming. That I've always been an adult, even when I was a child. Who knows if that's really true. But more so the message was just slow down, be patient. Everything I'm doing is unfolding in just the right time. And, that's obviously, that feels real. That felt, it landed for me.
Yeah.
It definitely landed for me.
But we're not going to say what it is.
No, and I'm going to tell you in a second why I also, one of the other reasons I felt like it landed. And so she also told me, she said, I don't remember, I think she said, you have a son and you're worried about him. And I'm like, well, yes, I'm always worried.
That definitely lands.
Always.
That lands.
Always worried about him. And she's like, he's just like you. He's exactly like you.
Definitely lands.
And she said, you need to let him figure it out. She said, you figured it out. You need to let him figure it out. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't like that answer, but sure. Anyway, she was saying that I'm going to have these endings and new beginnings. She also told me that I had a friend that was either currently or was fixing to, or I would find out soon, would be going through a divorce. And I was like, no, that does not land. No, I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, well, it's going to happen. And when that person comes to you to tell you that you need to keep your distance from that person. And I was like, oh, this is very cryptic. Why is that is the one piece that I was like, this doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Everything
else was just very much, it felt all very real to me. It was all stuff that I already knew, stuff I already felt, but kind of just reassuring that here she is picking up on this without me really giving her details about these particular things, if that makes sense. So
maybe she could sense that at 50 years old, you look like you're still trying to figure it
right.
out. So it would seem to reason to say, it took you a long time, but you figured it out. So, and a lot of sons are like their moms. I mean, I was like my mom, So, I mean, again, I'm kind of poking fun a little bit, but I do believe it. I do understand why stuff landed for you. But to your point earlier, I mean, there are certain things that they say that.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a good likelihood that
right.
that something's going to land or
right.
whatever. But
so really, what I took away from it is that I've already had dealings with someone who told me that Mom is one of my spirit guides. Like, everybody has spirit guides, and they're all different types of people. People that you might know, people that you don't know, like Jesus spirit guide. I'm probably gonna get.
How did you find out who your spirit guide was?
So one of the other people that I follow, and have had more kind of one-on-one settings with, and like in very small groups. I don't know if you remember the one day I was up here and we were doing, it was basically in this process of trying to connect to like your higher self, your, the universe, your spirit guides, whatever it is. And she took us through this meditation. I don't know if you remember me telling you this, but anyway, you go through this whole meditation. It's almost like you almost go up like into space kind of thing. And when we got up in there, and I'm in a group of like probably 10 people, okay? And it's crazy. You can feel the connection and the energy with these other people, even though you're on Zoom, like you're on a Zoom call, which is insane to me. But when I did this meditation, they walk you through this meditation, and they said, you're going to walk up to this bench. And when you sit down on this bench, a loved one is going to be there for you, or however she says it. Because we were trying to meet our, like, call in like our ancestors. And so I walk up to the bench, and before she's even telling us who we're going to meet at this bench, because she's walking you through this meditation, Mom was already sitting on this bench, which I thought was wild to me, because I'm like, Mom is like, for me, it was always a struggle because Mom's beliefs were different from my beliefs. And when I say that, I'm talking about her, what she believed, what her religious belief was different from my religious. I'm Baptist, she was like Church of God or whatever. They believe that when they died, their soul stayed with their body. There's no soul ascending to heaven or, anything else that you possibly believe. And so it was very conflicting for me all these years to think, okay, if I ever did something like this, if I ever had any type of reading, would Mom even come through? Because she doesn't believe that.
Right.
Like, how what happens after death? Like, is it really like what you believe? Is there one thing that happens to everybody kind of thing? So anyway, it was wild to me that I saw her, and I saw my grandmother immediately, and then I very quickly saw your mom too. All three of them came to the bench. No one else came, but all three of them came to the bench. And it was just very, it was so quick, and they're just quick flashes in your brain. And you could say, okay, well, like your subconscious or your mind is bringing that up. But honestly, like, when you can get to a point in meditation where you truly are pushing your active brain out of the way so that your subconscious truly can take control, like these things that come through, you can believe those things. They're not your mind just making up a story to show you what it is that thinks you want to see, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, so at the end of that session, I was very emotional. Like, I was bawling. I'm tears just coming down my face. I was so emotional in that session. I was emotional before it started. I did the meditation. I, was emotional through the whole thing. I'm emotional after. And I asked the woman, Nicole is who it is, that was leading it. I said, I just have a question. I said, I saw my mom. I said, but I don't understand Nicole. I said, because her religious belief is different from mine. I explained it or whatever. And she's like, she's like, your soul goes back to wherever your soul came from. Like it's how did she say it? She worded it. I can't think of how she worded it, but basically like it's, she's like, there's no religion. Your soul, there's no, where your soul came from, there's no religion, if that makes sense. So like all our souls come from the same place. That's what she believes. That's the way she explained it. I truly believe that is in fact the case, because other words, I don't see my mom I don't see my mom coming to visit me or give me messages.
That wasn't the case.
If that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
And it was the way that like she believed, or even possibly that I believed. And so she told me that I had these particular spirit guides. She named 5 of them, like da-da-da-da-da. And Mom was one of them. She did say, she's like, are you close with Jesus? And I was like, I mean, I've known about Jesus. I've believed in Jesus and God my entire life. I was brought up that way, been baptized, all those things. I said, but I don't necessarily have the same closeness that I did back 20 years ago. And because she's like, I really see Jesus close to you too. And I was like, that's interesting. which also was very interesting for me because at one point I was questioning like the whole, God. I was really questioning this. I was questioning church so much because I really felt like church is really just it's for power. It's for power and control, to control people. And I was really struggling with that whole concept in the Bible. Like the Bible, like, what is it? Why do we need to follow these things? We need to follow these things because somebody wants to keep you in line and control. That's my personal opinion. But then I'm like, I'm hearing them do readings and I'm hearing them say things about God or Jesus. And I'm like, okay, so I'm confused, whatever. So I'm just taking it like it is that they're a spirit guide just like anybody else. And if you want to, if you are praying for help and guidance, that's no different than me looking to my spirit guides for help and guidance.
Maybe it's all the same thing. It's just how you label it. Whether or
Right.
not you say it's the universe, it's God, it's spirit. What at the end of the day, it's being intentional. At the end of the
Yes.
day, it's a belief in something bigger than yourself,
Yes.
and how you label that is how you label it. Just like how someone else labels it. If they're big into church and everything else, is how they do it.
Right.
But I don't think that there's a right or a wrong way. I find myself, when I'm trying to talk to God or to universe. I mean, I feel like I'm talking to the same entity either way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm asking for the same thing. I'm asking for guidance the same way. I'm asking for direction the same way. And I think that that's ultimately what you're saying.
Yes.
I think that the problem is the world we live in, we have all been taught
Yeah.
to think a certain way or forced to think a
Yes.
certain way, and and everything else. But I think at the end of the day, it's all the same thing. You just
Right.
you have a belief in something higher than yourself.
Yes. And so that's where I'm at with that. And so I still pray. I absolutely pray to
Sure.
God, and believe in God and believe in Jesus. I just don't necessarily believe that the church or even necessarily everything written in the Bible is something that I have to go by. I feel as though some of that
Because you could
is control.
Yeah, because you could argue too. I mean, if the Bible were that, then why are there so many interpretations of it? Why are there
Exactly.
so many different disciplines? Why are there so many different denominations? I mean, if it were truly, one size fits all, you wouldn't have so many denominations.
Yeah.
And again, I'm no expert when it comes to religion. I'm just telling you how I feel, and I have listened to you enough to know. I think we're really kind of saying the same thing. We're
Yeah.
talking about the same thing.
So anyway, this reading it was very interesting to me because she kept talking about the endings and the new beginnings, and if you go back to the tarot cards that I pulled before the trip happened, that's exactly also what they were talking about, was the beginnings, the endings, and then the new beginnings and the difficult choices, which is everything that kind of came up through the reading, which I thought was really super cool. And so it was
I'm trying to turn on my do not disturb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So it was very interesting to me. So then Courtney went, and it made her emotional, of course, because I'm sure she said stuff about her mom in there. And then Amy went, and
Well, and I bet it was particularly emotional for Courtney and probably Amy too, because I don't think that they necessarily are as open to this as you are. So they probably went, okay, if Annie's going to do it, let's support her. Let's just try it. And then when it actually happened, they were like, shit, I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, so Courtney's, she was told that there would be another granddaughter coming, and so we're waiting to see if this comes to fruition or whatever. And then Amy, the woman that did hers, had said to her about her travel, her big trip that she has coming up, and then also saying something about that this conversation that difficult conversation that is she's needing to have, that she had an argument with someone and they left it, where they left it was not where Amy would want it to be left, and that she needs to go back and have that conversation. And Amy's like, actually, yeah, like that, it could be it could be one person or it could be this person. She's like, both people, like, I feel like we're fine, but yet we're not where we used to be. And we do need to go back and have that conversation. And she said, and there's no way on earth she would know about my travel. She and Aaron are going to Portugal. Like I think in March or May, and they're going for several months, and they're not just going for a trip. They're going to determine, is this something they might want to move to Portugal? Yes. And this is what the psychic said to Amy. And so Amy for sure was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. It was very cool. Again, believe it, don't believe it, doesn't matter.
So I think we need to start a GoFundMe. And I think that we need the help of our listening audience to help us do a spiritual retreat like in Arizona.
Absolutely.
Where the energy is
I want so
supposedly,
badly. Yes.
a lot stronger there and that kind of thing. That would be a cool trip. Now, the question is, I would need to know like how many days of that I could handle. You know what I mean? Like you could go there and spend a whole month there. Me,
no, that might
I'm
be
probably
too
like
much.
3 days. I'm probably going to be tapping out at that point. But so let's start a GoFundMe.
Yes.
You heard it here first.
So let me just tell you. So the next,
You don't seem to like that idea.
no, I love it. But so after that, the next morning, I sat up on the roof and I journaled all of this out because I wanted to just make sure I remembered everything. And so I journaled it all out, and then I ended up pulling a card again for myself, based on everything. And the card that when I was shuffling, which a lot of times what happens, you either pull a card, or sometimes when I shuffle, cards will just kind of pop out. They either pop out or they'll flip one way and everything else is going the other way. And I take that as a sign, that's the card I'm supposed to have. And so that's what happened. It actually fell out of the deck, and it was the tarot card was I think Regina is how you say it, but the keyword was endings and death. And so when you get this card, you see this card that says death, and you're like, oh my God, but that's not what it means. So what it said is, I'm stepping through a portal of transformation. One door is closing, but another one is open. Take strength from Regina and step forward in power to a new reality. It's time to let go of what no longer serves me and embrace a potentially bright new beginning. It might feel like a jolt initially, perhaps something out of my control has shaken everything up, but she's telling me, you've got this, you have the power, use it well. It's time to wave goodbye to the past, and it may be difficult, but renewal is beckoning, and what is meant to remain in my life will do so. But do not resist the change, as it will make the situation more difficult. So, I mean, I pulled those cards before we went. We went and had the psychic reading, and then I do journaling, and I pull this card. And they're all saying the exact same thing about the transformation that's coming, the endings, the new beginnings. And that's truly for this entire year. I feel like that's how I've felt. And it finally was just like, duh. I mean, like, okay, I see it now. Like, why do I keep saying, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
Validation.
Yeah, it's like, hey, like, you already know what you're supposed to do. Like, freaking
stop fighting it.
Right, stop fighting it. And then we went to Conjure, which is it's a store, crystal store. They have all of tarot cards, crystals, all the stuff. And we went there, and I don't know, I got a few little candles or something. And when I was checking out, I saw some tarot cards up there face down. I'm like, oh, these are cool. Like, what are these for? She's like, we get when you purchase something, it's like, it comes with your receipt. She's like, pull a card and it's yours. And I was like, oh, okay. So I pulled this card, and before that, she was like, so like, what are you like? Are you working on something, or like, what are you looking for in here? And I'm like, well, I'm always working towards, trying to connect with my higher self, my spirit guides or whatever. So she's like, well, pull the card. I pulled the card, and the card is the Magician, and the Magician says, like, you already have all the tools. You have all the tools. Stop doubting yourself. You got the tools. You're here. You're good. Get started. Not like, keep trying. Yeah. Keep telling yourself you're not doing it. Like, I'm fucking doing it. Like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So anyway, gives me chill bumps.
So you talk about the tarot card, but that just happened yesterday as well, didn't it?
It happened a couple of days ago. So you and I are doing this thing for
the 12 Holy Days.
The 12 Holy Days. And we're doing a slightly probably different take than some other people have done. you can do whatever rituals you want to do. And so the way that we're doing it is we are kind of just writing down what is the feeling that we want to feel for that particular day. Then that correlates to a month next year. And then like I did a feeling, I did a word, and then I did what I'm calling in, and what
I did a word, what I'm calling in, and what I'm
releasing.
Yeah.
And so I decided to, I meditated on it. I'm kind of just focusing on it. I'm feeling that I'm actually, like if mine was gratitude, I'm literally feeling the feeling of gratitude and what it is that I want to call in. And I'm really focused on it, and I'm feeling that all through my body. And so when I was done, I wanted to pull a tarot card for myself. And you were like, can you pull one for me, or how does that work? And so I'm like, yeah, sure. And so I was shuffling, and you pulled the card, didn't you?
Yeah. And how many cards are in this tarot? I mean, it's like a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like it's 4
like
cards.
96, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's a lot of cards.
50
So
something.
yes,
Anyway,
I pulled my own card.
You pulled your own card, and it was the Three of Pentacles.
Yep.
And I looked it up, and I was like, I read it. I was like, I'm not really sure, like if this completely applies to you. And what did I say to you?
Well, I remember asking you, like, if you pull it, are you pulling it for me, or are you pulling it for yourself? Like, in other words,
Yeah.
whose energy is really
Well, and
coming?
I had you shuffle for that simple point,
Yeah.
is because your energy should be in the cards. I had you shuffle it, and you pull the card that pulled out. And when I read it, I was like, oh, based on your month that you were doing, I'm like, I don't know if that really applies to you. And I kind of like chuckled, and I was like, maybe you pulled that one for me. And so I reshuffled several different times. You left the room. I'm shuffling, and a card flips up opposite direction of everything else as I'm shuffling, and it's the Three of Pentacles. And I'm like, that card was for me. That was my card.
Yeah.
And so, and it absolutely applied.
Made more sense for you.
It absolutely made sense for my month that I was pulling the card for. So.
And I don't do as good with stuff like this as you do. But I can say, in the times that I have participated with you, I can see why there is such a draw to it. Because for someone like me, having a focus on intentionality is important, because that's just not the way my mind works. My mind works like, let's go do this, let's go do this, let's go, boom. But to really kind of go through this exercise and be very intentional. I mean, I'm already excited about January, February, March. We'll be working on May or April today. And I got to go and look at what my word is, what I'm calling in, what I'm releasing, because I've got to focus on it before. But I can really see why there's such a draw to this, especially with you being the way that you are, because I do think you're the type that is very, you get a lot out of setting intentions and that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, I also think it's really good for me because it helps keep me focused on the good.
That's true,
definitely can get down a rabbit hole just like anybody else. I can have all the anxiety, all the depression, and this really helps me to stay focused on what it is that I really want and how I want to feel. And it's kind of just like synchronicities too. Like if you are focused on that good, then you can't help but find that good.
That's a real awareness there, because when I said I'm not like that, it's probably because I tend to be more of a glass half full. You tend to be less than that. So maybe in my mind, I think I don't need it quite as much. But to your point, if you don't have that intention setting and the positivity, and you're more likely to kind of get into a different headspace.
I mean,
than I would.
I have been in the past, and just because I do this doesn't mean that I don't get back to that headspace, because I definitely feel as though as much as I've done all this and as much peace all of this brings me, I still feel as though I've had a little bit of depression that I've had probably quite a few times this year. And I would say this December, it's really kind of reared its head, and I've really had to kind of battle back in keeping myself on, in focus with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think what I have noticed of late is not necessarily like the level of, I don't like to use the word depression, but let's just say that word since you used it. I don't know that I've necessarily said that the level of depression has been more or like more severe. I feel like that the ups and downs have been more abundant than what I've seen in the last, let's just call it the last year.
Yeah, and I don't know. I can't completely put my finger on what it is just yet. I don't know that I'm going to be able to completely put my finger on it until I'm all the way through it.
Yeah.
And some of it just may be, they say that if you believe in astrology and different things like that, and even in human design, you have at year 30, you have it's your Saturn return, and then at 50, it's your Chiron return. I think it's Chiron, and it's you're just changing. You are changing and becoming a different person than you were before, and I don't.
What I've got to make sure. So
I'm not unhappy,
yeah,
but I'm not overly happy.
yeah.
It's just kind of,
Yeah. And I feel like that when I say the ups and downs, I feel like that I have seen the here and the here more than the last year. Whereas it may just kind of been here a little bit for the last year. But I feel like, too, that I feel like the more we talk about this stuff and the more I learn about it and the more we communicate is the more in tune you become like with people's energy. Like I never really thought about it before. Like I could tell if you were going to be a bitch, I'd be like, okay, she's in a bad mood, right? But now a lot of times I can pick up your energy without you being a bitch. It's just, there's just an energy. And, I told you when we were walking the dogs today, like, I feel like I've gotten pretty in tune with your energy and with Lauren's energy. And so, for example, she came home from work today and I immediately felt something. She wasn't in a bad mood. She wasn't throwing stuff around, whatever. And when she's mad, she normally comes in and tells you she's mad.
yeah.
And I was like, hey, is everything all right? She's like, yeah. I said, you sure? She's like, yeah, why are you asking me? I was like, I don't know. You got an energy or whatever. And so we kind of went on our way or whatever. Well, then I'm down working and she's about to leave the house and she comes back and she was like, you did ask me if something was wrong. I said, yeah. And I said nothing was wrong, but I didn't have the best day at work today. And I was like, okay, so, tell me what happened. And so she goes on to tell me what's happened or whatever, but which I appreciate that she wanted to share that with me. But I feel like before you really got into this and I got into the level that I think it's easy to just chalk stuff up to, oh, they're just a girl. They're just whatever. They're just in a bad mood. And a lot of times that's really not it. A lot of times, I mean, it could be something's happened. It could be something's not happening. That's just the way you are. But I think that that's helped a lot with our communication and me and Lauren as well, because it's easy to combat that with an energy that's not receiving. You know what I mean? Like like instead of trying to make it better, instead of asking the right questions, it's just easy to be like, okay, well, if you're going to be in a bad mood, I'm going to be in a bad mood, kind of thing or whatever. But I really like I've told you this before, and I think you think it's because I don't like learning at the same level that you like learning, not about stuff like this or anything really, but
this is you do have that on your 12 days, right? Don't you have something in there?
Well, I have education.
Okay,
but education is more about
not learning.
Me
okay.
educating other people on
okay.
Life and relationships and real estate and everything else, because there's a lot of realtors out there that do like education videos, and I like watching them, don't get me wrong, but I've always kind of in my mind, I've always thought to myself, okay, anybody can get this information from anywhere. That's just not really me. I kind of tend to lean more towards the entertainment side of it and whatever. And so that's really what I mean by the education piece of it, is I want to give it my full effort. So with the help of Savannah, which is my chat GPT, we've already got my entire calendar for the month of February laid out. And and of course she doesn't tell you exactly what to say or anything like that. She just kind of helps guide you to give you stuff to think about. I'm like, shit, here we go.
Okay.
So
my bad. I got you off topic. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's important to talk about. But anyhow, I don't know where I was going with that. So I guess I did get off topic. I'm sorry. But I
were
said,
saying something
no,
about...
Okay. I know where I'm going with this. I have said this to you before, and I don't think that you believe me, but I learned this stuff through you. I learned this stuff vicariously through you. And I think that I listen to this stuff a lot more than you think I do, just because I don't come in here and do, 3-hour DIs, and I'm not getting all emotional, and I'm not, just because I don't do it at that same level doesn't mean, and I have told you before, I think when you manifest for me, it's stronger than me manifesting for myself. Maybe it's because you're better at it. I don't know. Or maybe that's just the way, our relationship is and the way it's been created, or that God or the universe or whoever it is knows that I need that from you. I don't know. But I appreciate it. I enjoy it. I know you don't think that all the time, and I know that I don't do it the same way you do it, but I have loved learning over the last couple of years about this through you.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It's definitely, if I go back, I'm toying with the idea of jumping back into my solo podcast and talking. I think I am meant, I shouldn't even say that. I know that I'm meant to share my healing, what I've been going through this last year, and maybe even year and a half. And it's been where it started and like where it has gone is like so crazy. But it's scary. It's really scary to jump in here and start telling people the things that I've been going through and learning about myself and the way that I am healing and all of this stuff. But I know I'm meant to do that, and I've got to just jump in and do it. So
I think we had intentions on talking about two topics today.
And we I talked a lot.
This and Kitchen Gate, and there's no way we're going to get Kitchen Gate in.
There's no way we're going to get Kitchen Gate in, but we will talk about Kitchen Gate.
Yes.
We will. That will be a great tease.
We might fight during Kitchen Gate. This is Life's Little Arguments. If y'all want to see us argue, we might be arguing on Kitchen Gate episode 50 or whatever.
I feel like we had moved
Are we
through
at 50
it.
episodes yet?
I think this might have been 50. I'm not sure.
We should celebrate it. We should look back and see if this is 50.
Absolutely should do that. I'm pretty sure. Are you still feeling some way about Kitchen Gate? Don't get into it. I'm just asking. Are we healed from it or not?
We will talk more during Kitchen Gate. I can't reveal exactly how I feel about Kitchen Gate right now.
All right then.
But we will talk through the range of emotions that I had with that whole thing. So
why are you pulling on him so much?
He likes that.
He is just passed out.
I know he likes. That's the word moms grab their dogs, so it's comforting for them.
I guess.
And when you punish them, you're supposed to like pinch it real hard right there, almost like a mom when she corrects their puppy.
No,
she bites him right there to just say, "Hey, you need to chill out." But he loves when I do his folds right here.
I've never seen you do that.
Well, I haven't. I just learned that. You talking about this or the? No, I do this. This is the only way. I don't want to say the only way, but I pet him like this all the time.
I do not recall.
That's why he lays in my lap, probably.
He's definitely passed out.
It's probably why he lays in my lap the way he does. So.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
We digress.
Very much so. So anyway. Okay. Well, I hope that I mean, it doesn't matter if I bored you to death. You could have turned it off. It's fine. But I...
Welcome to my world.
I plan to...
Look, this
I plan
is what
to
I
get
do,
my
guys.
podcast started. I hate you right now. Okay, all right. Well, okay. Well,
she's gonna get her solo podcast.
Tune in next week for Kitchen Gate, and you can hear all about what happened with that.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.